So in this video I want to document my journey of somebody who never really meditated consistently to meditating 1 hour every single day. What that does to me, how I changed my behavior for better or for worse, and just in general, how I cultivated that new habit. Let's start. The thing is that I have this wandering mind. I have a very hard time staying focused on things. I really struggle with being very present, especially when I'm by myself. I tend to be on my phone or on my laptop, just mindlessly scrolling through Facebook, through YouTube. Whatever is put in front of me, I'm just gonna absorb it like a sponge. And I don't like that. I don't feel healthy in my mind when I do that for an extended period of time. So my purpose with this January meditation challenge is that I break this pattern of mindlessly consuming and instead reflecting more on what I do and actually being content with just doing nothing. But enough with the blah blah, let's go and start meditating.
So no matter what's going on in your life right now, no matter how many thoughts are racing around your mind, no matter how the body's feeling, just take a moment to sit down and take a big deep breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth.
I just finished my first session of meditation. 20 minutes, that's what I started with, which is already a bit longer than recommended for beginners. Usually people start with 10 minutes, but if I want to get to an hour every day, I better start with 20 minutes per session. And it was so hard. It was so tough. Like at the end, my mind was screaming. I was trying to stop myself from opening the eyes and just moving my hands and my limbs and watching a YouTube video just to get the stimulation that I'm so used to. If the rest of the month goes like that, it's gonna be a very, very long month. So hopefully this gets better in the next couple of days, and I'm gonna keep you updated. So of course, nowadays, if you want to learn anything, you can be sure there's an app for it. And I went through a couple of meditation apps that could help me on this journey, and the one that I finally landed on is Headspace. They offer a pretty good starter course that you can try out for free the first 10 days, and afterwards you have to start paying if you want to continue. Admittedly, the premium version of the app is kind of pricey, but if you already have Spotify Premium, for example, which I do, then you basically only pay $5 more every month if you want to get Headspace Premium on top of that. I really hope that this app will be worth it and that it will help me to stay on my path and eventually complete the 31-day challenge. It has been about 10 days of meditating daily for an hour now. About 1/3 of January is over, so I figured I'd give you a quick update here. And I gotta say, I'm quite surprised by the results that I have gotten so far. The first couple of days were really hard. I would just not stop thinking about stuff. And as soon as I focused on my breath, my mind would start wandering again. So I was sure that this would keep going for maybe the entire month. It just didn't seem like I had what it takes to calm my mind down. But then, after a couple of days, I started to get better. And I started to notice that after the 20 minutes of meditation, I would actually be calmer. And then it improved even further from there. So I would sit there for 20 minutes and I would notice that I would not get this uncomfortable feeling anymore. I wouldn't feel like I have to scream and I have to touch myself to just feel alive. Instead, I would just be calm. I would just start to sink into this feeling of completely being at ease and fully be in tune with the moment that you're currently in. So by now, I am really intrigued by how this experiment might continue and what other side effects I will notice. Right now I have a quick lunch break, just going for a walk here in the nice Stockholm neighborhood that I work at. And I can already tell that I'm getting a lot calmer when facing problems at work, for example. I used to get quite stressed if there was a problem that came up suddenly at work and that I had to handle right away, but I had no idea how to do that. So nowadays, what I do is I use a technique that I learned through meditation. And that is I take 3 deep breaths. In and out, in and out, and in and out once again, before I actually go and try to find a solution to the problem at hand. So I would already say that I can see the positive impact that meditation has on my life, but also on my work performance specifically. Something quite weird just happened. I came home from work, I was home alone, and usually my default looks something like that. I would immediately turn on my computer, I would get onto social media, maybe YouTube, maybe watch a series. But for some reason, all of that didn't satisfy me right now. All of that seemed kind of pointless, kind of mind-numbing. What I wanted to do was something mind-stimulating. Something that increased my awareness rather than diminish it. And I would notice that more and more in the last couple of days. I would, for example, just lie in my bed and listen to music while following a trail of thoughts, without the need to seek immediate stimulation and occupy my mind with something. It's almost like I'm rediscovering what it feels like to actually use your mind for thinking instead of just constantly flooding it with information. And I gotta say, to have this freedom again feels really, really good. Another thing that I learned from my meditation exercises and that I now implemented into my work routines is to put a little reminder somewhere on my office desk to keep reminding me to be mindful in whatever I do. So whenever I look at that one thing, and in this case it's a little origami swan that my colleague made for me, you can check it out here. Whenever I look at that, I remind myself, wow, I gotta be mindful. I gotta be mindful even when the work maybe is dreadful, even when I might be a little bit bored at times. I still should keep that mindfulness and that presence throughout the day. And whenever I become present in my job, I don't feel like it's boring or it's annoying to be at work. I actually quite enjoy it. I become present of the nice colleagues around me. I become present of the hot cup of coffee in my hand. I become present of what I'm actually doing and what I earn my money with. So becoming present and becoming aware in these mindless, mind-numbing situations is really beneficial, I believe. Alright, cool. I made it through January meditating every single day. To be perfectly honest, there were some few days where I didn't meditate an entire hour, but usually I actually did. And it was easier than I thought. I would wake up early, meditate before I go to work, then meditate another 20 minutes during my lunch break, and then 20 minutes after I come home from work at home then. During this month now, I could already feel the benefits of meditating regularly. My mind became calmer, I was less interested in mind-numbing stimulation and instead had no problem just thinking by myself. Also, sometimes literally I could feel myself getting detached from my own emotions and instead just observing what is going on with me, how I react to certain things, which then in turn helped me to maybe course correct some of my emotional reactions. On top of that, I could notice that there are a lot of benefits to meditation in the work environment. So I was more focused, I was more disciplined, I was more in the zone when working and was not so much caring about finishing as quickly as possible and trying to escape the moment, but rather I just embraced it. So to sum up, I can say that this month of meditation really opened my eyes to the benefits of meditating regularly, and it is definitely something that I want to keep up in the future. I don't think I will do it an hour a day because that is pretty excessive and time consuming, but I definitely want to meditate at least once every single day, even if it's only for 5 minutes. I know there are people out there who have meditated for years, So I'm sure that with this 1-month challenge, I barely scratched the surface of what meditation can do for me personally. I really want to dig deeper and see what other benefits I can discover on this journey. And if you're curious about meditation by now, if this video helped to spark a little bit of interest in you, then I can highly recommend that you try it out for yourself. It's literally the easiest thing and the hardest thing in the world, to just sit quietly and observe your mind and your body in those couple of minutes. Thank you guys for watching. If you did like this video, feel free to subscribe down below. And I'm gonna soon upload more videos about personal development and happiness in the future. Until then, talk to you next time.